The vastness of space stretched infinitely beyond the observation deck of the Pioneer, a sleek human warship that now drifted at the fringes of the known galaxy. Commander Alex Carter stood at the viewport, gazing at the shimmering stars, each one a potential ally or enemy. His heart was heavy with the weight of the Galactic Council's decision, a choice that had thrust humanity into exile. Once a proud member of the Council, humanity had become a pariah, scapegoated for conflicts born from misunderstanding and fear. The Galactic Council, a coalition of numerous alien species, convened to address what they perceived as humanity's aggressive tendencies. In the eyes of the Council, the incident on Tather Prime, where a human outpost had been mistakenly attacked by a rival faction, was the last straw. The Council had deemed humans too volatile, too reckless. Carter could still hear the words of Chancellor Valora echoing in his mind, "We cannot allow such a species to roam freely among the stars." The decision to exile humans was swift and unanimous, a verdict that shattered the hopes of billions. Carter turned away from the stars and addressed his crew, a diverse mix of humans and a few other species who had chosen to stand by them. "We might be exiled, but we are not defeated. We have a ship, we have each other, and we have the will to survive." His words were met with nods of determination, yet he could see the flicker of doubt in their eyes. How long could they endure this isolation? The Pioneer's sensors pinged, breaking the silence. Lieutenant Sarah Chen, the ship's science officer, peered intently at her console. "Commander, I'm detecting an unknown fleet on an intercept course. They're not broadcasting any identification." Carter's instincts kicked in. "Shields up. Prepare for evasive maneuvers. Helm, plot a course for the nearest star system." The crew moved with practiced efficiency, the tension palpable as adrenaline surged through the air. As the Pioneer sprang into action, Carter reflected on the choices that had brought them to this moment. He had always believed in humanity's potential, in their capacity for innovation and growth. But the Council's decision had stripped them of their standing, leaving them to fend for themselves in an unforgiving galaxy. "Commander." Sarah's voice cut through his thoughts. "They're opening fire." The bridge erupted into chaos as alarms blared. Energy bolts streaked through space, impacting the Pioneer's shields with violent force. "Return fire." Carter shouted, gripping the console as the ship shook. The crew responded, the weapon systems humming to life. The Pioneer fired back, targeting the lead ship of the approaching fleet. It was a battle of survival against an unknown enemy, a harsh reminder of the precarious position humanity now occupied. As the first enemy vessel erupted in a brilliant flash, Carter felt a surge of hope. Perhaps this battle would be their chance to prove themselves, to show the galaxy that humanity was not to be underestimated. But for now, they were just trying to survive, fighting not only for their lives but for the future of their species in a galaxy that had turned its back on them. With each blast exchanged, the reality of their exile became clearer. They were alone, but they were not powerless. The Pioneer was more than just a ship, it was a symbol of humanity's resilience and determination. And as long as they had each other, there was still hope. The desolation of the distant planet Pharos 7 loomed ahead as the Pioneer glided into orbit, its hull battered but still standing strong after the encounter with the unknown fleet. Commander Alex Carter stood on the bridge, the blue glow of the planet's surface reflecting in his eyes. The scanners had picked up something unusual, an ancient structure buried in the planet's surface, a relic from a time long forgotten. "Commander," called Lieutenant Sarah Chen, her voice cutting through the stillness. "The scans show a massive structure beneath the surface. It appears to be some kind of ship, though it's unlike anything we've ever seen. Can we access it?" Carter asked, a surge of excitement mingling with apprehension. The prospect of finding advanced technology was tantalizing, a glimmer of hope in their dire situation. "Possible. It's mostly intact, but we'll need to land and do a thorough inspection," Sarah replied, her fingers dancing over the console. "Set a course for the coordinates. "Prepare a landing party," Carter ordered, trying to keep his voice steady despite the thrill coursing through him. Within moments, the Pioneer descended, touching down on the planet's rocky surface. The crew assembled in the hangar bay, the air thick with anticipation and trepidation. Carter led the way, flanked by Sarah, the ship's engineer, Max, and a few armed security personnel. Stepping outside, they were greeted by an eerie silence, the barren landscape stretching endlessly under the light of two suns. In the distance, the outline of the ancient ship became visible, a massive hull, covered in layers of dust and debris, its surface marred by time and neglect. As they approached the ship, the crew's awe was palpable. "It's colossal," Max murmured, running his hand along the ship's side. "What civilization built this?" "Let's find out," Carter said, leading them toward a gaping opening at the base of the vessel. Inside, the air was stale, and shadows danced along the metallic walls. The crew switched on their flashlights, illuminating an interior that felt both foreign and familiar. Control panels flickered with dormant lights, and the architecture hinted at a level of technology far beyond anything humanity possessed. "Look at this," Sarah exclaimed, pointing to a large console at the center of the chamber. "It appears to be a control interface. If we can get it online, we might be able to access the ship's systems." Carter nodded, his heart racing. "Let's get to work." As the crew set to work, they encountered a series of challenges: failing systems, outdated technology, and the sheer weight of uncertainty. Hours passed as they struggled to revive the ancient warship, but Carter could see the flicker of hope in his crew's eyes. They were building something extraordinary, and he felt their morale lifting. Suddenly, with a loud whir and a burst of energy, the console came to life. The lights flickered, and holographic displays emerged, revealing maps of the galaxy and weapon systems that made Carter's breath catch. This was a warship, and it held secrets that could change the course of their exile. "It's operational," Sarah shouted, her voice brimming with excitement. "We can use this ship as a base of operations." Carter felt a surge of determination. "We need to learn everything we can. This vessel might just be our ticket back into the Council's good graces." As they delved deeper into the ship's systems, they discovered advanced weapons technology and defensive mechanisms that outclassed anything the Pioneer had. They were no longer just a ship in exile, they had unearthed a powerful ally. As the day turned into night on Pharos 7, the crew gathered around a holographic projection of the star map. They were no longer alone in the galaxy, they had found a path forward, a chance to redefine their place among the stars. Humanity had not been vanquished, they were on the brink of something greater. The glow of distant stars barely illuminated the Pioneer as it sat anchored to the ancient warship Vanguard in the desolate expanse of Pharos 7. The crew had spent weeks integrating the advanced systems they had unearthed, transforming the Vanguard into a formidable force. As Commander Alex Carter stood on the bridge, he felt the anticipation crackling in the air. They were ready, but the threat of the hostile fleet still loomed. "Commander, we've completed the upgrades," Sarah Chen reported, her fingers flying over her console. "The Vanguard's weapons are fully operational, and we've enhanced our shield capacity. We're more than ready to engage." "Good. But we need to be strategic about this," Carter replied, gazing at the star map projected in the center of the bridge. Their sensors had picked up movement from the enemy fleet. 3 ships, the same ones that had attacked them before, were approaching fast. "We have to draw them in, use the Vanguard's capabilities to our advantage." As they prepped for battle, tension ran high among the crew. In the corner of the bridge, Max, the ship's engineer, paced nervously. "What if they're prepared this time? We're outnumbered." "We can't afford to think like that," Carter countered, turning to face him. "We've been underestimated before, and we have the element of surprise. We're not just a ship anymore, we're a united force. Stick to the plan." The crew nodded, the resolve in their eyes giving Carter the confidence he needed. They had faced challenges before, but this was different. The galaxy was watching, and their survival depended on this battle. Enemy ships on the radar, Sarah announced, her voice steady. They'll be in firing range in 5 seconds. Bring the Pioneer to flank position. Ready weapons. Carter commanded, adrenaline surging through him. The ship rumbled as it maneuvered, the crew preparing for the encounter that could determine their fate. The moment the hostile fleet came into view, Carter's heart raced. 3 dark ships loomed before them, their sleek designs radiating menace. As the lead ship fired a barrage of energy blasts, the Pioneer and the Vanguard sprang into action. Evasive maneuvers. Return fire. Carter shouted, his voice rising above the cacophony of alarms and energy discharges. The Pioneer swerved sharply, the crew working in unison as they targeted the lead vessel. The first exchange of fire was chaotic, energy bolts lighting up the void of space. The Pioneer rocked under the impact, but their new shields held. We're hitting their flank. Sarah called out, excitement tinged with disbelief. Keep the pressure on. Max, focus on stabilizing the power distribution. Carter barked, his focus unwavering. As the battle intensified, they executed maneuvers learned from the Vanguard, using its advanced technology to their advantage. Carter felt a rush of exhilaration as they outmaneuvered the enemy, surprising them at every turn. But just as victory seemed within reach, the third enemy ship flanked them from behind, launching a torpedo. Brace for impact. Carter yelled, but the Pioneer was already shifting, the Vanguard's systems working in perfect harmony as they redirected power to the rear shields. The explosion shook the ship violently, but they held firm. Enemy vessel disabled. Sarah shouted, relief flooding her voice. Carter took a deep breath, knowing this wasn't over. Focus on the remaining 2. We can't let them regroup. In the ensuing chaos, they executed a final strategic assault, using the Vanguard's enhanced weaponry to target the lead ship. With a well-placed shot, the enemy ship erupted in a dazzling explosion. As the final enemy ship fled, Carter felt a rush of triumph. They had turned the tide, but at what cost? The crew had fought valiantly, and they were no longer merely exiles, they were warriors, ready to reclaim their place in the galaxy. We did it! Max exclaimed, his face beaming with disbelief and pride. Yes, we did, Carter replied, feeling the weight of leadership settle on his shoulders. This battle was just the beginning. They had proven their resilience, but the true test awaited them on the horizon, a return to the Galactic Council and the fight for humanity's future. The wreckage of the hostile fleet drifted silently in the vast expanse of space, remnants of a battle that had been fought and won. Commander Alex Carter stood on the bridge of the Pioneer, surveying the aftermath. The crew was exhausted but exhilarated, a mixture of disbelief and pride washing over them. They had faced insurmountable odds and emerged victorious, but now came the more daunting task, returning to the Galactic Council. Prepare to send a distress signal, Carter commanded, his voice steady despite the weight on his shoulders. We need to reach out to the Council and let them know we're back in action. Sarah Chen, still buzzing with adrenaline from the battle, tapped her console. Signal is ready, Commander. I'll include our battle footage as proof of our capabilities and recent success. Make it clear, we're not a threat. We're humanity ready to stand and fight alongside the galaxy, Carter replied, the words feeling heavy yet empowering. They had been exiled, but this victory was their chance to reclaim their place among the stars. As the signal transmitted, tension filled the air. The crew gathered around, eyes glued to the view screen, waiting for a response. Moments felt like hours as the silence stretched on, filled only by the distant hum of the ship's systems. Receiving a reply. Sarah finally exclaimed, her voice breaking the stillness. It's from the Council. The view screen flickered to life, revealing the familiar faces of the Galactic Council members. Chancellor Valora was front and center, her expression a mixture of surprise and skepticism. "Commander Carter, we have received your message. You claim to have defeated the hostile fleet that attacked you?" Carter met her gaze, feeling the weight of the moment. "Yes, Chancellor. With the help of an ancient warship we discovered, we fought back and proved our resilience. We are not the threat you believed us to be." Valora's brow furrowed. "You speak of an ancient warship. Such technology is dangerous in the hands of an untrustworthy species. How can we be sure you won't use it against us?" "We could have easily turned it into a weapon of mass destruction," Carter responded, frustration creeping into his tone. "But we didn't. We chose to defend and protect. Humanity deserves a chance to demonstrate its value, not just as a member of the Council, but as allies." The Council members exchanged glances, uncertainty lingering in the air. "What you have accomplished is commendable," Valora finally said. "But the Council must deliberate on whether to reinstate humanity's status. Your actions will weigh heavily in our decision." "Understood," Carter replied, his heart sinking. They had fought valiantly, but the Council's bureaucracy was as confounding as ever. "I only ask for the opportunity to present our case in person. We want to work with you, not against you." The Council members nodded, and the screen went dark. The crew let out a collective sigh of relief mixed with apprehension. They had taken the first step, but the road ahead remained uncertain. "Prepare for a jump to the Council's main station," Carter ordered. "Let's show them what humanity can do when given a chance." As the Pioneer engaged its jump drive, the familiar sensation of light bending around them engulfed the crew. Moments later, they emerged into the bustling heart of the Galactic Council's headquarters, a station teeming with activity, diverse species interacting, and a sense of unity that seemed to pulse through the air. "This is it," Carter said, determination surging within him. "We're here to make our case." As they docked, Carter glanced at his crew, their faces a mixture of anxiety and hope. They had fought for their place, and now it was time to reclaim it. Together, they would face the Council once more, united in purpose. Stepping onto the docking platform, Carter felt a sense of resolve wash over him. They were no longer exiles, they were warriors. Humanity had a voice, and they would ensure it was heard. The galaxy was vast and unpredictable, but together they were ready to forge a new destiny, one that would see humanity stand side by side with its allies, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.